All right, so it looks like we are back. You see how trust is important, that we need to trust not only humans, but we need to trust the technology. So we are back with the technology up and running, and let's go for it. So as I said at the beginning, we talk about DevOps here, and trust is one of the bases of DevOps. And today, within 30-ish minutes, I would like to show it to you why. We know that nowadays world is complicated. There's a term, VUCA world, invented in the USA, that it means that our world is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And it is how it is. Now we observe a very difficult situation with a COVID, war situation with Ukraine. So it is, our world is really unpredictable. So this VUCA term really describes where we are, where we live. On the other hand, we need to remember about our business that we are running, business value that we deliver in order to run our companies. However, in our companies, our IT world and DevOps world is also difficult because we have market dynamics. So every day, new startups are popping up. Every single day, the new companies are closing because of some reasons. So market is really dynamic. There are a lot of needs on the market. There is also the unknown requirements part. If you are a developer or QA, you know, and even if you work as other roles, you know that when a client comes to you and say, oh, I would like to develop that tool, they have their rough idea what they would like to develop, but on the other hand, the detailed requirements are unknown. That's why Agile was born. We solve complex problems. This is our world. We became engineers to solve the problems, to find the solutions for riddles and so on. However, sometimes, always, not sometimes, business guys are coming to us saying, okay, how much does it cost? Could you give me your estimation? And we know this is not an easy task to do. So ambiguous estimation is something that we also need to take into consideration and somehow live with that. So this term I called VUCA. This is just my invention. So VUCA was invented in US at the university in the United States. VUCA is just my acronym, but it fits together, I think, because our world is so unpredictable that we as engineers need to respond to this unpredictable world and need to operate in that. And why we are talking about that today and why we see those 4 sentences here. This is obviously Agile Manifesto. And this is also the proof that not only DevOps needs a trust, but Agile, the foundation of Agile is a trust. Because if you see the individuals and the interactions piece, this is about trusting each other. We interact with each other only if we trust, if we can build somehow trust. Customer collaboration. We collaborate with the client, not only negotiate and fight about budget, but we collaborate with customer if we trust customer that they would like to work with us. We respond to a change, so our customer needs to trust us that we will respond to the change that's happening on the world, that we don't say, oh, the requirements were defined in the documents and I don't care that the business changed, we will develop all the way. No, that's not something that we tend to do nowadays, so customer needs to trust us. And obviously, because of those 3, we can produce then working software together, collaborating between business, between operations, and between developers. So this is all about trust between us. So if we are engineers, let's focus on the details and the meat. What does it mean, trust? Trust is like not a tangible thing, we can say. So So what I did some readings about trust, and I found out that there are two pillars of trust. One is cognitive trust or cognitive aspect of trust, and the other is emotional aspect. Cognitive aspect is transmitted through thinking. So once we work as engineers, we have skills. We have knowledge that we gained at the university. We know how to do software, how to program, and we gain experience throughout the years of our careers. And based on that, we can produce results. Once we produce results, someone else can trust us that this guy knows what he or she is talking about. So I will trust her or him that he or she will deliver software. So that's cognitive aspect. But we also have the other aspect, the transmitted aspect, which is transmitted through feelings. So if we feel that we can trust others, and how is that? Is that connected with our intentions? So when people see that our intentions are clear, that we don't have a hidden agenda, that we would like to openly talking to them, we are open to collaborate, they feel this person is worth my trust. I can trust this person. Also, when they see honesty, that we are honest with them, and we say, for example, we can say tough things, we can have tough discussions, like it can't be done within this budget. This is too high for us. We will not promise to deliver this kind of feature because we know that this is impossible. So this is a difficult conversation that I guess some of us had previously. And when clients see that, obviously the clients are not happy with this answer, but at the end of the day, it's better because they see that this vendor, our software house, is trustful, that we can say what we can commit what we would like to deliver. And based on that, we have the integrity aspect. So when we fulfill all those three, we have openness, we have clear intention, we are honest, we do what we said, and we are clear that something can't be done. That means that we are in the integrity. We are our attitude is integrate. And those two parts of aspects of trust can build the trust between people. So when we have cognitive aspect, we have something to analyze. When we focus on our knowledge, our experience, we analyze processes, we analyze something that we would like to develop. We then develop some logic inside, right? Once we have requirements, once we know what we would like to develop, and have the backlog in place, we develop the logic inside. When the logic is developed, or during the development of the logic, we have the language that we use. Obviously, the first thing to my mind comes Java language, because I was a Java developer previously. But we also use specific language, like, for example, agile definitions. Like someone can say, oh, where is the backlog? Do we have the user stories defined? What about acceptance criteria? This is our language that we operate, but our clients may not know this language. So we need to explain them. What does it mean? And this is also this part of cognitive aspect, that they will trust us because they will understand our language that we talk. And similar thing about DevOps, when we are talking about deployment, when we are talking about merging branches and many other activities, when we let's say we can tell to our client, oh, we need more budget because we use pair programming. They will not understand that. But if we then describe them that we use pair programming because the quality of the software will be higher, and then there is a less chance that there will be a huge bug on production ruining their business, they may understand that. So that's something that we can involve our client, and that's a good practice. And also talking about cognitive aspect, we rely on data. We are all data-driven engineers, so we need to think about analysis of the data and also showing to our client that yes, we collected those data that we have access to, for example, performance statistics of our applications. We see that our applications usually works well, but under certain circumstances, the performance of the application is not so good, and we need more money from you guys to invest on that part. So this is also clear explanation, logical explanation to our clients, and they obviously will be struggling to get more money, and that's the other story. But the main reason is to tell them this difficult message. But we need to watch out about judging. Because when we have all those information in our heads, so we know what to do, we know how to do it, we know what we are missing, we have some specific language, technical language, we can then be biased by judging. So we can judge that, oh, we are superheroes, we'll develop in 1 month, and then we will overpromise to the client. So that's one part of the judging that we need to watch out, and that's not a good practice to do. The other not good practice which can ruin the trust is when we judge other people. Saying, for example, talking about non-technical people, and we can say, and we can even not say, but we can think that, oh, these guys, they don't know what we are talking about here. We are saving the world by programming in Java, but we don't share our thoughts with them because they will not understand. That's also the trap, which doesn't help building the trust, because the other party will see that you are hiding something, or you don't want to talk about some aspects because of various reasons. They may feel that you think that they are more stupid. They may feel that you're hiding something because you see risks about development, but you can't tell them about it. So this is a gray area, and I would advise you to avoid. And when we talk about this emotional aspect of things, we need to focus on our emotions, our mood, and our non-verbal signs. Why? First things first, we need to focus about our emotions, because if we are stressed, for example, or stress is not an emotion, but if we are, let's say, nervous, we may not know that even ourselves, but we will show our non-verbal signs that we are stressed, that we're nervous, and people will feel that. So we need to be aware of our emotions, and if we are nervous, we can openly tell our colleagues or our operations when we are talking about DevOps, right? So we have developers and operations guys, and we can openly tell our counterparties that, you know, it makes me nervous because I think that I see some risk over there, and this person will realize that you are nervous, but will know that you are open with them. You are telling them that you are nervous, for example. Or vice versa, you can be smiling or laughing even because of some other reasons outside of the project, but the other side could have the scenarios in their heads that you are laughing because they are stupid, or because they don't understand, and the trust will be shaky. So the best way, the first things first, is to focus on your emotions. What do you feel in such situation? Then second step is to, if you feel something which touches you, you can share it with the people and say, oh, you know, I'm smiling because it reminds me about other projects that it was easy, or it was difficult, or there's some reminders that I can have. And one more important thing here is about being aware of emotions and the mood of others. So vice versa, when we speak with someone, for example, we are developers speaking with the operations guys, and we see that something is going on inside this person, and this person doesn't like to help you, you may say, oh, he's not willing to help me, I will not talk to him or her. On the other hand, you can see, you can feel, you can observe, maybe that way, you can observe that this person is, for example, nervous. And you can ask, you know, I see that something changed in your behavior. Do you need some time to get relaxed? Or I see that it's stressful for you. What I can do to help you not being stressed. So openly talking about our states. That builds trust, because the other person can see that you have good intentions, positive intentions to assist, to help with difficult emotions of other people. What is the bias here? Bias is lack of awareness, and we all suffer from lack of awareness of our emotions and of other emotions. Most of the conflicts we have between teams, in the teams, between the functions like DevOps, the development of the operations, and which prevents us working together in the DevOps setup, is lack of awareness what's going on inside us. We are just hiding and trying to avoid cooperation between ourselves. And the way to break down the silos that we all would like to have, we would like to all have one organization, one flat organization, I guess, with no silos, no blaming culture, no putting the stone over the wall, and so on. So the trust is the answer. Why? Why I'm talking about trust? As DevOps is so much more. You can see on my slide a lot of tools and technology stack that we use in producing software. So why I'm talking about trust here? Because there are certain software that are used by different teams, different people, and our aim in DevOps is to have one smooth process. Everyone, where everyone is familiar with the tools we are using, with the technology stack, and we can easily use those tools. First things first, when we will be able to use those tools and implement new tools, when our leaders will trust us to use to implement new tool. For example, we have Obsgenie, for example, to monitor, and then we would like to switch to another one because of some reasons. And your leaders need to trust you that the reason is so worth to check that to change the tool, to pay new fee. And talking about this diagram here, you can see different stages. I wouldn't say phases because we are not a waterfall anymore, I hope, but stages of the software development. Now, first things first, we build software. We have some software to support GitHub, Git, GitLab, Bucket, and so on. Then we slowly or automatically, I hope sometimes, move to tests. We have some tools to support testing. We also deploy application, and on those, and so on and so on. Someone is running, someone is monitoring, and so on. And on different stages, we have different people involved. And the core concept of DevOps is to have developers and operations be involved together on the slide, not just like in silos, that the first one is just for developers, the build is for developers, the test is for QAs, and deploy run is for operations. This is not something that we would like to have in DevOps setup. In the DevOps setup, we would like to have more linear process where developers start build the application, then they are starting working with the QAs to build test automation framework on that, and then they are involving operations, which and operations people can help in testing, can help in building, and developers can help in deploying and running. Obviously, this is not we are not talking about here that everyone is doing the same, everyone is doing everything, because this is not good as well, but we are talking about possibility that operations guys can develop the feature at certain point because excuse me, of some reasons that sometimes they will know better how to improve the feature, like non-functional feature, for example. And we talk about the developers can deploy and run or build monitoring and production. So we are talking about cooperation between other teams like development, operations, QAs. There are some ideas about SecOps, DevSecOps, so security guys are involved in this diagram as well. And in order to involve those guys and have happy team working together, we need trust. We need developer to trust operations person, we need operations person to trust developer, and so on and so forth. So this is the animation here, when there will be a green field and no one is assigned to work on the silos. Then silos structure in the organization, building trust. We could start to break those barriers and try to discuss, first things first, discuss the challenges between teams, between roles, and then try to cooperate. So the ultimate goal would be that we have one group of people working together with the same goal and the same mission, with different roles, obviously, as you see on the pictures, with different roles, but they can work together on the whole full stack of the technology. And then we can have happy DevOps setup. And it was proved, and it was mentioned in the State of DevOps report in 2020, just before pandemic. Puppet presents this paper, and they defined some stages of the DevOps evolution model. And we can see on the third stage, we can see, I highlighted it for you, individuals can work without manual approval from outside of the team. This is exactly what I was talking about. If developers would like to do some operational work and would like to, for example, deploy the application, they will know not wait until approval from operations, or let's say not about deploying just maybe can let in development roles, but let's say putting the monitoring in place in production. Also, security policy configures are automated. That's on the stage number 4 defined by DevOps. When security policy can be automated? When security person or security leader responsible for the security will allow you to automate security policies. On the fifth stage, we can have security teams are involved in technology design and development. That's the goal, what I was talking about, that security team is not some external team sitting somewhere in the basement and saying no to everything, that we could imagine this type of picture in our head. But security team, there are advisors, they advise us what we can do and work with us together and trust us also that we can automate security at some point. So trust is needed to build relationships, and relationships are crucial to work together. To prove that, I have the quotation from Amazon that they say that increased communication and collaboration in the organization is one of the key cultural aspects of DevOps. So key aspect of DevOps, according to Amazon, is the collaboration and communication. And we collaborate and communicate only if we have relationships with each other, if we trust each other. Okay, that was perfect when we were in the office, but COVID happened. COVID happened, and some people say ruined something, some people say improved a lot of things. Obviously, there are some pros and cons of working setup we are right now, so mostly remotely. But we survived. We changed our work to fully remote or semi-remote. Many of the companies were already prepared because already were distributed, had the distributed teams. But we also survived because moving everything to online, not only work, we moved our schools to online, we moved our concerts relaxed to online, private meetings, meeting with the families, even gyms were moved to online. And we survived. But how we thrive, and we can observe actually it right now. It's more difficult because of the political situation, but we can slowly observe that pandemic is going to the end. There's a spring coming, there is a summer coming, and people tend to connect with each other. And why we tend to connect with each other? Why we are so happy to have the, for example, conferences offline. Obviously, today we have still conference online, which also gives us something to there are some pros of the online setup. But in general, I observe that people would like to go outside and meet together. And why? The reason or the explanations of why is this structure. That's the chemical structure called oxytocin. And oxytocin is released in our brain when we are connected to each other, when we build relationships. This is the main thing that drives people to build, or one of the main things that drive people to build relationships. So this is not only like a soft skill theory, this is actually chemical proof that we need those connections, those relationships. So how it can help us in corporate environment? Obviously, we can build connections outside of work, but if we spend 8 hours with our colleagues from work, it's worth also to build connections with them. DevOps setup, first things first, help us building software because we are here to build software, to build something tangible, to run business. But also building a software means working together, discussing together, laughing together, sometimes worrying together about the deadline. So basically being in relations. But in the end, it means build trust. Excuse me. When we build trust and relations, we belong. We belong to each other, we belong to the group of people, we belong to our team. And once we belong, we can be more creative. That's the separate talk that I have for you. So I will not cover creativity today, but I can only say that creativity is being born where the belong is, where the trust is, where you feel safe to share your ideas that might not be the brilliant ones, but that is your idea. So when you belong to the group and you trust them, you feel safe with your teammates, you can be more creative. But as I said, it's a broader topic. So I think this year I'll be having some talks about creativity. So I invite you to that. And at the end, I would like to leave you with a quotation from Simon Sinek. The team is not a group of people working together. Team is a group of people that trust each other. That's, I think, the most important message that I would like to tell you today. Thank you very much for those 30 minutes with me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask right now or connect with me via LinkedIn and reach out to me. Thank you.